Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another installment of live streams for combat sports here on the channel. And here we have Kamaru Usman versus Gilbert Burns. Who have I got in this one? I mean, the confidence that is coming out from Gilbert Burns, he looks completely unfazed. And he looks like as if he might know something that we don't know. The entire lead up to this fight, I've never seen him look so confident. Um, I think it will be a fairly even. I definitely think that this one will be a dogfight. You know, they're both hungry, um, but obviously, if Burns gets Usman to the floor and grapples with him on the ground, that's that's a sticky situation for Usman, and I don't think he wants to be there. Um, I would definitely say that that Usman has, I believe, the better striking because I rewatched the fight a little bit more in depthly and a little bit more focused on all of the points of what Usman does well. Is that he gets all of the fundamentals and all of the basics really well. Good jab. I mean, you could practically be a striker just with a jab. Good jab, a powerful straight right. I don't think Burns, if I'm him, stay away from that shot because those do a lot of wear and tear on Usman's opponents. And Usman's very good at mixing it up on the body. And I noticed going into the third and fourth round against Colby, when Usman started to mix it up, going to the body, big body shots to the body, and those teep kicks, Colby's tank had completely diminished. He did not want to be there after that. When those power shots started to sink in, and you know, I just think that you can't take too many of those punches, you know, and because Usman likes to go the full 100 yards whilst he's in that octagon, and he likes throwing those punches, they're even more of a nightmare. So to get punched in the body with that power that late on into a fight, it's not fun. So I feel like that is in his arsenal, and that can always pay dividends. But if I'm Usman, sorry, if I'm Kamaru, I'm doing everything in my power to get him on the floor. You know, he's a three-time um, world champion in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You know, why wouldn't you not want to use that to the best of your ability? You know, why even bother trying to strike with Usman? You know, we've seen Burns throw hands with you know with opposition, but I don't think he's ever come up against someone like Usman that can throw these crisp, sharp punches and mix it up to the body as well. You know, I don't know. The question, like, you know, look, Burns beat Woodley, and Woodley had a thunderous. We all know that he's got a thunderous right hand, but Woodley doesn't come forward. He doesn't pile on the pressure the way that he used to. And with Woodley's style as a counter puncher, so it was easy for Burns to really pile on the pressure onto him, you know. So interesting. I'm banking on the fact that Usman has the striking in his arsenal, and Burns has the jiu-jitsu in his. And the whole storyline between the both of them, best friends, now turned enemies. It's a great storyline, and I can't wait to see how it plans out. I mean, it's literally about to start. Guys, if you are new here on the channel, please make sure that you subscribe and turn your bell notifications. And if there are 3 or 4 of you here, please let me know in the comment section your predictions. This is an incredibly hard fight to call. Incredibly hard. Who's gonna pip it, man? This is, you know what? I'm gonna go for the underdog. I just really like the way that Burns has been carrying himself, and I don't know, man. There's something about this fight. I saw Usman doing his walk, and I don't know. Is he looks like, there's something a bit. I saw Usman walk into the building. He didn't. He looks like he don't want to be there. Look, every fighter looks like they don't want to be there before they get into a fight, you know. And obviously, when you get into the octagon, it's go time. I reckon Burns 4th round TKO. Like yourself and maybe me, like I just feel like this energy with this fight. You know, it really is just a feeling with this fight that anything can happen. And granted, the fact that they've sparred so many times with each other, like they know each other's games inside out, and it makes it even more entertaining to see who's going to be the person who's going to win on the night. Because we know that, I'd say we know, 4 times out of 5, give or take for both of them, one of them win. So it's all about who's going to just show up on this night. And that's what makes this fight entertaining for me. So, Ferocious AU, I love your name. That's a great name. You're going for the 4th round TKO. I see it, man. I'm not too sure about a TKO. I just think if Burns can, and I don't think Burns has to necessarily get too crazy with his striking. Just give him a good jab, give him a couple of straights. But looking at Burns as well, he likes to close the distance and throw uppercuts and mix it up as well. And based on their sparring footage that I've seen, Burns likes to close the distance on Usman and throw uppercuts on him and make it rough, do dirty boxing. So, look, he's just full of confidence. You know what they say: a happy fighter is a dangerous fighter. That's what they say. I mean, look, this G is going into this fight, and he looks like he's about to go for a rave or go clubbing. Doesn't look like he's there to fight to the death. You know, it's brilliant. So look, this will be a barn burner, and I'm excited. Let's have a look. Wait, hold on a second. We got let's just do this. What's going on here? What's going on here? If you're new here on the stream, make sure you drop a like. Helps the channel out. Hold on a second. What is going, man? Man, like YouTube be doing the maddest things sometimes, man. I mean, what are these? What are these settings? Man, I can't tell what the fuck's going on with this shit. They're about to fight now, my G. They're literally on their way to the octagon. Burns is out there. He's getting prepped by he's getting a pat down by one of the refs. And he's getting his gloves checked right now. Right? And he's crawling up into the cage and he's there. So Go on, Burns. Go on, son. Go on, boy. That's it. Go on, the Burns. Up the Burns. If you're watching this stream, make sure you leave a like. Helps the channel out. I really do enjoy doing these live streams and talking with you guys. It's a lot of fun. Um, anyone that is here, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Um, look, I know how dangerous Usman is, right? Especially when he mixes up with his boxing. Um, and he's very cagey, but in a good way, and it's effective for him. You know, the only time that I see Usman really like throwing like hooks and uppercuts is when he's pressured his opponent all the way up against the cage, and that's when he starts to let those crazy punches go. But I've noticed when he's in the center of the octagon or he's moving about, he never tends to get too crazy. Keeps his opponent at bay, teep kicks to the sternum, sharp jabs, sharp right hands down the middle, and especially his right hand. Burns cannot get caught with that right hand. It is so, he the way that he times it, he waits for his opponents to go square, and he just pops it right down the pipe, and it just sits you right down your ass. So it's not a punch. It's not a punch you want to get hit with. I mean, I wouldn't want to get hit with that punch. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm just a keyboard warrior with my cup of coffee watching the fight. Usman, I'm good, man. I don't want smoke, man. I don't want the right hand. Welcome to the stream. Use DJ Hollow. Thank you. Clap back to you, my fine sir. How are you? Welcome onto the stream. If you're new here, make sure you're subscribed, or if you are a current subscriber, make sure you leave a like on the stream. Helps everything run smoothly. And the journey continues to 1,000 subscribers. Hope I get there this year at some point. God damn. you know. So subscribe, turn the bell notifications on, and I try my best to cover boxing and the UFC and engage in conversations with you guys. That's what makes it fun. I'm trying to do I'm gonna be real with you guys right now. I'm gonna be real with you guys. I'm trying to do a thumbnail. Like I got my thumbnail right, but YouTube's being a bit mad. Like, yo, bro, if someone shared this video to YouTube or something, cause like, man, I'm having some problems doing a thumbnail. Like, I got the studio creator app and everything. It ain't let me do shit. Oh fuck, man, what type of bullshit is this? The famous words of Khabib Nurmagomedov. This is number one bullshit. Like, bro, what? Yo, what? Go on. All right, now I can do it. What the fuck's going on, bro? This is some bullshit, bro. What is this? What am I blacklisted or something? What's going on, guys? If you're here currently watching, make sure you leave a like on the stream. Helps the channel out. And if you're new here, subscribe, turn your bell notifications. Bish bash bosh. Jimmy's your uncle. Fanny's your aunt. Someone's gonna get knocked in the blood clot. Bars. Man, this is annoying me. What the fuck? In the event of the evening, and I can't do a thumbnail. What is this shit? Nah, man. Bullshit, bro. You can't be telling me I spent all this time doing a thumbnail. I can't. I come on, man. What is this? This is some shit right here. This is some bullshit right here. YouTube don't even want to let me do a fucking thumbnail, bro. Mad. Come on, quickly, man. Come on, man. What? All right, here we go. I can't do a thumbnail, bro. YouTube think I'm some next dickhead or something because they won't let me do a thumbnail. Fucking cunts, man. Man, I'd love to smack someone right now, honestly. Especially someone in the YouTube headquarters, bro. What have you got, bro? Have you got fridges working in your office or something? Why can't I do a thumbnail? Man, this is some shit. This is some fucking shit, man. Bullshit. Look, I've got me some man, I'm spitting. Oh, what? Oh, now you do it, yeah? Bro, I'm about. Oh, fam. Mad. Pricks. Why is Usman like doing this, bro? Why is man hyping himself up like this? Why is man hyping you, bro? This guy, bro. Bare weird. All right, guys, here we go. It's about let's clap some cheeks. Let's clap some cheeks, boy. Come on, Burns. Oh, yo, man, just come out with right hand, Burns. Oh shit, Burns is on smoke, boy. Yeah, what? Oh my god, bro. He went up. He said, right, you wanna think your man came up with right hand and truly smashed him. This is entertaining, man. Go on, Burns. Man, you can cut the tension with a knife with this one, guys. Oh, Burns! Oh, uppercut from Burns inside. Another one. Burns. Oh my God, Burns! Burns is smashing Usman. We said this, the uppercut on the inside. Fucking hell, I might wake up my whole family, bro. It's mad. Bang! Oh my God, Burns is on smoke. I hope he doesn't dump the whole engine tank, man. Bro, Burns came out like a madman. Bro, if you ain't subscribed, bro, I don't know what you man are doing, bro. You man childish, bro. Subscribe. Turn the bell notification on, bro. Do it, bro. Subscribe right now, bro. Come on. My boy Burns putting that work. Oh my God, bro. It's something out of a fucking Gareth Evans movie, bro. Fucking hell. Cheers, SS. Appreciate that. What was that? That was like a dick punch. We saw the same thing with Usman in that Colby fight. He was getting tagged when Colby was closing the distance. He was tagging him up. But I didn't think Burns was going to have this success so early on. Come on, ref, break it up. Let them stand up and fight now. This is stupid. Come on. Usman's coming back a bit now. Usman doesn't want to tangle on the floor. He's just kicking him in the arse. Oh, big. Right. Okay. This is where Usman wants to work here. He wants to dig in uppercuts in the body, hit power shots here. But we know that Usman still has that right hand down the middle. And we said he's got a good jab, and he's now utilizing that at the moment. Let's see if Usman does a teep kick or another good jab from Burns. Burns, I don't think Burns has to go too mad with his striking. Really, okay, he came up guns blazing, but he doesn't have to go. Just pop him for jab and try and kick him in the body. Good leg kick from Usman there. Another kick from Burns. The training kicks, a teep kick. We know Usman's got the teep kick. He used it there. A knee from Burns to the body. They're trading at the moment. Good jab from Usman. A big right hand from Burns. Burns is really exchanging with the boxing. He's parrying the jabs from Usman as well. Big overhand from Burns. Fuck me, this is a great fight. Just as we all man. Good jab from Usman. It's back and forth in the boxing exchanging. Usman has to every time Usman gets tagged, he bends his head down when he's getting hit. It's the worst thing he can do. Big high kick from Burns. Burns needs to chill a bit now because you don't want to. He's really gone gun ho in this first round now. And Usman, he likes drawing it out. We know that. Big right hand, left. Burns is lighting up Usman, man. He's getting on the inside. What it seems to be happening is that Burns is slipping the jab of Usman and throwing the uppercut on the inside, and he's hitting him. All right, let's see this exchange again. He beat him to the jab when he got that knockdown. He's beating Usman to the jab and throwing over the top. Wow, this is some top gravy stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. And like we said in that action replay there, we've got Usman pushing Burn up against the fence, digging in, where that kind of dirty boxing style. But let's see if Usman's going to go for another gear now. Trevor Whitman's saying that use your jab, and he's not using his jab. But I think he is using his jab, but then Burns is like, no. I can see it a mile away, and he's counting over the top of it. I said this briefly at the beginning of this stream. Usman he walked into the arena. He looked like he didn't want to be there. Didn't look like he really wanted to turn up for. I mean, look, I'm not saying. I mean, granted, whatever. Okay, Usman's using his jab now. I still believe Usman does have the better boxing, but that's just a case of he can just get the the cogs moving, his brain to be on time, because at the moment Burns is beating him to majority of the punches. Sadly, I can't, my G. I need to keep the channel alive. I can't do that. Left hook, right hand, mixing up the variations. Okay, good exchange there from Usman there. Jab from Usman. You can see now that Burns has dumped the energy now. Big right hand. Burns is trying to land these power shots on the inside with uppercuts. I'd like to. I mean, good exchanges here. Big uppercut, but they're both jabbing each other now. Jab there from Burns. This is the tough. Oh, sharp right hand, like we said from Usman. Oh my God, he's on wobbly legs here. Is he going to finish it? Big left overhand. Come on, go on, Burns, fight. They're exchanging, but Usman is turning the tide here. He's been using his jab a lot more here. Overhand rights. Oh my God. Burns on wobbly. Usman could finish it here. Usman could do it here. Burns is not going anywhere. Jesus Christ, man. This is mad. I mean, oh man, I don't, this is crazy. Good leg kick here. Usman's dumped a lot of energy, man. He dumped a lot of energy. And he's been clipped and hurt bad here. And as we said, that fucking piston right hand of Usman's no joke. And he's gone southpaw, Usman. Changed up the stance. Usman dropped Burns with a jab there. It's an entertaining fight. Usman is clutching this round here. Fucking hell. Mental. Whew. Man, these 2 rounds, boy. Big, okay. Burns came back there throwing punches. It looks like the gas tank on Burns is depleting, man. And now this is where Usman wants him. This is where Usman wants to chip away. He wants to defend the takedowns. Good left hand from Burns. Boy, oh boy. Fucking hell, man. And this is some intense shit, ladies and gentlemen. Some intense shit. Whew, boy. Man. Unbelievable, man. That look, the jab, we look, like I've been saying, man, the jab of Burns and that fucking piston right hand, bang, look, down the funky chicken dance. I mean, Usman, those are primarily the 2 punches he throws, but he's so good at throwing them that that's all he needs. A jab with a right hand. That's it. I mean, he used different variations. I mean, like like I've been said, when he sees his opponent up against the fence, Usman opens up, and then you see the wild punches um, being thrown by him. Another was that a right hand or jab? Oh, is he going to finish it ground and pound? Usman might finish it here. No, 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 no. Usman's done it. Ground and pound. That's a great performance. That's a great performance. That jab and that right hand, man. Two punches that he has in his arsenal. But if they land, mad. Boy. Hey, come on, calm, Burns, man. Don't do that to yourself, man. Don't cry, man. Come on, man. Don't do that to yourself, man. Bro, you gave a fucking entertaining fight, man. Don't do that, man. Man, this really be their life, man. This really be their life. This is why you see the emotion pour out of these fighters, man. Night and day, you know, grinding, training, you know. Man, he had a storm, he had a storm blazing first round, man. Guys, that is in that I mean that is an incredible performance from Usman. You have to put some look. I know the credentials Usman brings. I mean, if any of you've been listening for the last half an hour, the things that I've been saying, he has a good jab. He wasn't utilizing his jab in the first round. Just it just looked it looked like a fish out of water, and Usman and Burns was piling onto him. I'll say this: Burns hit Usman a lot harder than what Colby did. A lot harder. Um, and it looks like as if Usman's chin has been saving him in these fights. So you know, and look at that championship level, you're gonna get hit. You are gonna get hit. You know, so um, you got you and so to say, you have to roll the punches and take it on the chin. You know, but look, I still got massive amounts for massive amounts of respect for Gilbert Burns. Um, but yeah, guys, if you're new here, if you've been watching me go off on a tangent, make sure you subscribe, turn your bell notifications on. I do my best to cover boxing, UFC, do these live stream reactions, and engage with you guys. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the live chat. What are your thoughts on this performance from Usman? Whoever's watching this right now, let's see if we can get ourselves if let's see if we can get ourselves to 640 subscribers, another seven to subscribe to the channel and turn your bell notifications on. Um, let's do that, and let's leave a like on the stream as well. Helps the channel out, helps small creators like me, um, and yeah, helps the world go around. that jab, that right hand. They're simple punches, but the way that Usman is able to utilize those punches, they are, you know, it hurts to see him upset like that, man. It means more than the world to him. Man, this guy's on a. Usman having a word there with Rogan there, I think. What was that? What was all that about? Let's have a look at what he's got to say. It is a great performance. More than anything, it was just an entertaining fight. Guys, make sure you subscribe, turn your bell notifications on. Let's try and get the channel to 640 subscribers. Let's do it. Let's make that reality. Let's do that. Subscribe, turn your bell notifications on. I'll be covering UFC 259. That's another brilliant card there. Israel Adesanya, Jan Blachowicz, light heavyweight title belt. You got Yan fighting Sterling as well. Some absolute barnstormers going on in the UFC company. So make sure you subscribe, turn your bell notifications on. Let's engage, let's talk, and bish bosh bosh. And he saw that tonight. Undeniably, undeniably. Now, let's talk about the fight. Was there anything in the fight that surprised you? He came out of the gate very fast, flipped you with a couple of right hands. What were you thinking during those moments? No, I knew he hits hard. The funny thing is, that's the majority of how sparring went, sparring together. You know, if I do one, he would counter heavy with shots. And he would buzz you. You know, for a guy that was a lightweight and moved up, he's got so much power in those hands. And anybody else in this division goes to sleep to one of those. He caught me in the first round with one of those big hooks, kind of behind the ear. Oh, a bit of swearing going on. Oh shit. Let's go to work now. I tell you what, bro. I tell you what, this would be a great inclination for you all to subscribe, right? Make a deal with you to the 39 people that are currently here, yeah? Hear me out. If you guys subscribe, turn your bell notifications on. If you guys subscribe, right? When we get to 1,000, okay, then we'll listen. But I always just get on the bag myself, and I wanted to work that southpaw. I wanted to work the jab, and I knew I had a good jab from the southpaw, and so I loved the switch. That's why you see me in my fights. I switch both stands. I'm mainly a conventional fighter. I think Kamaru just has too much power. That right hand, when it hits, it just sits you on your arms. There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. He's definitely the strongest when for power wise. When that right hand, it doesn't matter. It's like Deontay. I mean, it's not the level of Deontay Wilder power, but when that right hand hits, you know about it. You know. Why did you do that? Because that is a little out. So yeah, to the 42 people that are here, if you subscribe, when we get to 1,000, make a deal. When we get to 1,000 subscribers, whatever the fuck it is, the world's hottest chili sauce, whatever the fuck it is, I'll do it. And I'll do it as a video. I'll live stream it. How about that? So if that's an impetus for you to subscribe, there it is. And I'm a man of my word and I mean it. And I won't bitch out and I'll do it. How about that? So subscribe, turn your bell notifications on. Let's get this channel to 1,000. I understand you getting hyped up, but I don't think there's anybody not putting any respect in your name. You were without a doubt one of the greatest fighters in the history of the sport, one of the greatest welterweights, not the greatest welterweights of all time. It was an honor calling your fight tonight. Congratulations, sir. Enjoy it, take it in, and I cannot wait to see you defend your title again. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate it. Before I go, we got this little street dog calling himself Jesus. He thinking he's Jesus, and Joe, we tried to make that fight several times. They tried to make that fight. Calling out Masvidal. Backing out. The only reason this man took the fight is because it was on 6 days' notice, and he had a built-in excuse. And he's still running his mouth, talking about he broke my nose and stepping in on 6 days. Give you 3 weeks, he's gonna do something. Guess what? It's not done. I'll give you a whole training camp. I guarantee you won't sign on that dotted line because this time I'm gonna finish your ass. Damn. You want next. Or another fight with Jorge Masvidal. Any one of these fools can get it. Any one of them. But he keep running his mouth. If he's gonna talk, step in here and you guys see me. Step in here and see me. I love it. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Congratulations. After that performance, how I see Masvidal pulling it off. I don't know how he wins that fight. I love you, Samir. It's pretty. I'm coming home for you. I think this fight states you can't doubt Kamaru. Most title fights, number 4. He's working his way up. Well, from now on, every fight that Kamaru Usman goes in, I'm putting my money on him, boy. I'm gonna. We were close. We were so it. That was. It's a weird one to really take to take in, right? Because that's Kamaru's best performance, but it's also the most we've ever seen him getting rocked. Kamaru Usman won. Kamaru got the win in the 3rd round, TKO. It was an emphatic performance from Kamaru. Absolutely amazing performance. He really is a testament of doing something simple and making it work. So I very stupidly made the prediction of Burns going in there and getting the job done. I mean, the prediction almost came true in the 1st round. I'm not a sucker. I know what are the capabilities of Kamaru. We know he's got the teep kick. We know he's got the jab. We know he's got the right hand down the middle. And that punch alone, it sits a lot of people on their arse. And it's not a punch that you want to get hit with, And with Kamaru, once he starts pushing you back with the jab and he starts working you to the fence, that's when you start to see like these crazy overhand haymakers, and that's when he really starts throwing from the hip all the way through on his shots, and that's when he becomes a nightmare. That's when he becomes the Nigerian nightmare, But look, if Kamaru's going into fighting Masvidal, sadly, I don't think. I mean, I'm a big fan of Masvidal. I mean, the style, the camaraderie, the levity, the playful banter you get with Masvidal, just oozing that charisma. It's hard not to like him, But man, like I've seen people call out Masvidal to the fucking bleachers, and the man's not said anything, and it just makes me think like it's kind of true. Like the guy was out here saying he's street Jesus, he's going to baptize everyone. Went on that amazing 3-fight win streak. He had that loss against Kamaru, and the man, he's not said anything. You would think, right? And you would think if you're an in and out Masvidal fan, that after taking a fight after on 6 days' notice, traveling halfway across the world to go fight in Abu Dhabi, and then you lose on points, right? You would think, all right, I went on my free fight win streak. I lost on points to the champion. Let's get that ball rolling again. And he hasn't done that, and I don't know why. You know, and the thing is, the reality is that whether these fighters are stepping into a boxing ring or an octagon, it's always the fighter that has the most experience in there. You know, um, it's all about who's in the ring or who's in the octagon fighting at that championship level. Um, it's the same with Conor McGregor. It's like everybody knows what McGregor is capable of, but the inconsistency of not having fights, harmed him. You know, there's a saying that we say here in the UK. There's a difference between being fit and being match fit. Fit's like, you know, when you're fit, you're programming yourself to be at an an you know at a baseline where you can compete. But when it's that prestige level, your level of fitness has to be ready for anything, any outcome. Completely night and day to what fit is, if you know what I mean. Match fit, you have to be ready for all scenarios. What's not to say that that fight could have happened and maybe Gilbert Burns, maybe the approach would have not been to get on the inside, slip the jab and throw the uppercut. Maybe the approach could have been, I need to wrestle, use my jiu-jitsu with this guy for 5 rounds in the UFC, So you have to be ready for all outcomes, you know. And I feel that that's the best approach when it comes to this, when it comes to combat sports. When you see fighters that come out and they go, "Oh, I predict that I'm going to come out and knock out this guy." It has happened, right? But in order to get these amazing finishes and these amazing performances, you have to be ready for all of those outcomes. That's what I truly believe. You know, I mean, I think now you can't be looking at Usman now, doubting him going into um that next his next bout, especially if it's Masvidal. You know, and and you got to think as well. That's a lot of that's a lot of that's a good mentality to have. To get that win and just be like, you know what, I don't even care. I don't even care who's number one contender. Everyone can get the smoke out here. Everyone can get rolled up and burned up in a zoo. That's how Usman's moving. He's moving on the maddest crud right now. His confidence is up here. You know, so it definitely that he wants all the smoke, and I feel and I believe that he genuinely wants to prove himself. I think Kamara has this mindset when he goes into the fight that he's never the champion. He's fighting like he's still fighting for the belt. That's what makes it entertaining. And a lot of people criticized on him. Oh, you have to look right. You can't, because what a lot of people will do if people want to take away the credit for Usman, they'll say, "Oh, but Burns, he could have done this, he could have done that," right? And because Burns, because he dumped the energy tank in the first round, he never had a chance of winning. But then it's like, well, what about the jab of Usman? What about his footwork and landing that piston right hand down the middle through the center line? You can't take that away. Look, here it is. Look, jab. It's very simple. His punch output is very simple. Look, bang, right hand. I mean, no, look, they're just jabs. They're just jabs, and they're right hands. That was an intelligent move there from Usman. He went to southpaw to throw a piston right hand. It's clever stuff, and then he finished it with ground and pound. I mean, Usman with Trevor Whitman, he's. I mean, I've always believed Usman's had good striking, but man, he went for another fucking gear in that third round, man. It was no joke, And we've seen Trevor Whitman um, making Justin Gaethje a more of an intelligent fighter. Him utilizing the jab against Tony Ferguson, and with a jab and then the right hand, and you know. So no, Trevor Whitman's a great coach. Joe Rogan, he just wants to smash. Yeah, he probably does. Guys, if you can, make sure you drop a like on the stream. Make sure that you subscribe, turn your bell notifications on. Um, subscribe. Turn your bell notifications on. Um, yeah, do that, man. Do that. And especially if you've enjoyed yourself here, man, feel free. Let me know, guys. Let's have a little conversation for the next 10 minutes. Because boy, I gotta get my bomber clock ready, boy. Cause soon, man like Zack Snyder is dropping his final trailer, bro. I gotta be ready for that shit. That's another main event right there. And I'm gonna say this. I know that there's probably a lot of people that are on this stream thinking, "What in the fuck? Like, yo, why is this guy called MCM Moveroos and he's talking about UFC?" Look, I'm a crazy individual. I don't really do things by the book, but who does? you know, the best ideas come from the craziest of minds, so to say. Um, yeah, I'm trying. I don't know, man. It's been hard. I'm trying to find an actual name for the channel that gives the right amalgamation of combat sports movie reviews, but I haven't been able to find it yet. But if you guys have any suggestions, let me know in the live chat. What would be a great name for a channel that does a combination of filmmaking content, movies, TV series, boxing, UFC? What would you call? What would you call the channel? I would love to hear your suggestions in the live chat because it's past my mind. Um, it's past my mind, and it's got me thinking like, yo, what should I actually call the channel? Like, so because I've got subscribers here for both of those essential needs. You know, guys, we are 4 subscribers away from 640. Could we do that? Can we pull it off? Subscribe now. Turn your bell notifications on. I'll be doing this all over again for UFC 259. Jan Blachowicz versus Israel Adesanya. I'm going for it, Israel Adesanya, that fight. But yeah, again, It could be another rude awakening there. I don't know, but I don't know. I don't see it. You know, I genuinely believe that with Adesanya, that the only person that can come close to beating him is John Jones. I just believe that with Adesanya, he, the guy, um, he, he's had over like 100 kickboxing fights. You just got you look right. You have to just put that into perspective of the amount of time that has been spent into learning that art form. That's insane. Like, wait, hold on a second. Let me pull up how many bouts he's actually had, yeah. Because honestly, I the only person that I see beating him, that where I get like, oh my, like, there's a possibility he could lose that is the John Jones fight if that happens. And I've also heard that with John Jones. Um, I've heard that with John Jones. The apparently the winner of Stipe Ngannou, that will be who that will be who that will be who Ngannou, sorry, who Jones will be fighting. Sorry, I had a brain fart. It's currently nearly 6:30 here in AM in the morning on Sunday, Valentine's Day. Um, but it is what it is. We do what we love. We do what we love. All right, let me pull it up. Sorry, my phone, bro. I don't know what it's doing. I'm going to pull it up right now. There is it. All right. All right. Israel. You got to say it like that, bro. You can't. Got to put respect on the man's name. You can't be saying the man's wrong. All right. Okay. So we go here. And you know what, man? Like, he's still young for a fighter, man. 31. If it's anyone that's going to compete at this moment in time, that could be Nurmagomedov's record. If it's anyone that could get to 30, it's Ezra Adesanya. It is Adesanya. You know, I feel like with Adesanya, he has to come against the guy that's going to really test him on the ground and make it a fucking nightmare for him. He has to come up against someone that is a fucking genius. He has someone that has to be a fucking wizard on that mat and that can do any type of chokehold they so possess. It's like Jack Hermanson, but he's not exactly on the best streak at the moment, you know. But with his skill set on the floor, I mean, if he can string some wins together, but then you say the striking really isn't that great though, So I look at the middleweight division. It's like, you know, and I know that Robert Whittaker is great, but even his style is a little bit too. It's a little bit too wild, you know. I wonder when we're going to be getting the I wonder when we're going to be getting the Robert Whittaker Paulo Costa fight. When's that one going to happen? So if we look here, so I actually got that wrong. So he actually has a total of 80 kickboxing fights, right? And 75 wins, 29 by knockout, 5 losses, and that loss by knockout. Was knocked out once in kickboxing. But that man, that's a flawless record. And I assume that he was a kickboxing champion as well. Like this guy, man. MMA. Wait, where's the kickboxing? Trying to find it for you guys. What was this? Boxing, kickboxing. Doesn't really say. Because if there's anyone here, let me know if you're currently watching this now. Has Israel Adesanya he won a um, a kickboxing world title? I'd like to know. I can't really see here. Yeah, it doesn't really say. I was happy to see on this card that Kevin Gastelum got his got his act together. Um, when I mentioned that, I meant make out like he was a bad boy at school or something. But he came out tonight and he performed, and I was happy to see that, man, because I think he's genuinely he's a cool dude, nice guy. Doesn't really have a bad bone in his body, does he? Just a coincidence that his job is smashing people's faces and trying to win on any means necessary. But I really like him, man. I think he's a cool guy. Um, you know, and he's been one of the only UFC fighters that have really pushed Adesanya. Um, but it's just crazy to think that he's like what number 9, number 10th ranked in the world in the UFC. You know, you wouldn't think that with that display that he gave against Adesanya. You guys are awesome, man. It's nice. We got the video to this video's got to 1,300. Wait, yeah, it's a mad world, isn't it? It's a mad world. Everyone shows up for the everybody shows up for the Kamaru Usman versus Gilbert Burns fight instead of the instead of the Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier fight live stream. Life works in mischievous ways. It's great. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, does anyone want to engage in the conversation? Let me know your thoughts on the fight. Also, I want to drop. I thought Macy Barber had a good fight. She lost, but she gave a great account of herself. That was a tough fight to score. I think it really was nothing in that fight, and I think she should just hold her head high and she's 22. Macy Barber. A fun fact. A fun fact. I done my Wikipedia on her. It turns out that her birthday is the same day as mine. We share the same birthday. So yeah, that's cool. So yeah, up the Tauruses. So like one from one tourist to the other, man. I was rooting for her, man. But she's gonna she I believe she'll be around for a while. She's a great fighter. Let's for a little let's I just want to know quickly in the chat, um who have you got for the Israel Adesanya versus Jan Blachowicz? Who have you guys got? Live chat is there. Type away. I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think will be the outcome? You know what? Hold on a second. I need to, because man, I'll be honest. I'm at the moment. I'm slacking with the boxing content. The last boxing live stream we done was I believe it was Anthony Joshua versus Pulev. You know what? I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna let me find out when. I know that Canelo's fighting. If I can, let's see. Let's see if we can do it for that one. Let's see. When's he fighting? Let's see what Canelo's doing. All right. I don't know if I just put in Canelo next fight. Oh my god. I'll say this: the fight night between um, Lewis and we got Derek Lewis versus Curtis Blades. I will do a fight night for that here on the channel because you know, he's on the tear up, and How about this month we do free live streams for combat sports. So we got this event up. We've got that one in the books. We'll do the fight night, which will be next week. I'll be here again on the channel, and then Canelo on the 27th of February. That seems like a decent mixture of live streams. Oh boy, it's mad. It's mad, boy. We can't go in there. I know definitely, Nick. I ain't gonna be that guy. I ain't down Kamaru Usman anymore, boy. Man, I feel like I'll be honest, man. I feel like a fucking idiot for doubting him. So, I mean, especially if his fight's gonna be Masvidal next, don't see that. I see potential of Masvidal. I think that Masvidal has I believe he's got the power to knock out to get Colby, but man, like man, Usman's chin is like hitting a fucking cement block, man. You just get some fighters that are just blessed with a chin, and they can just take shots and they can just still be in the fight, you know. And the thing is with Usman, like when he gets hit, he don't get hit and like everything shuts off for him. When he gets hit with a hard shot, it's like a flash. It's like a flash of oh shit, I'm still in this fight. You know when Burns gets hit, you can just tell that there's no one there basically. And he's at the point of being out on his feet. You know, I mean look at the blasters that Nate Diaz has taken. Never been knocked out once. I mean, he's. Do you know what's funny, right? You're gonna like this one. I've got a nickname for Nate Diaz. I call him the Californian Terminator. The Californian Terminator, because that man can take a fucking shitload of punches without. I mean, I think he gets hurt, but with him, he's always there. I remember the fight against Pettis, and I think even at that point he had got. I think he'd been out like for a whole year inactive, right? And he had that fight with Pettis. Pettis was fighting back to back. He was putting on these good performances, right? Diaz just rolls up after a year of not competing and just completely just wears out Pettis. So I'm like, bro, this guy, like, is he human? You know, is the man human to be doing that? You know. But guys, let me know who. Like, it makes me think who's gonna. What is this scenario that's playing out with Diaz? Who is he gonna be fighting next? You know, because I watched his interview and he called out. It's just weird though. He was calling out all of the top contenders from the lightweight division, the likes of De Bronx, Charles Oliveira, and Dustin Poirier in the lightweight division. He was saying, yeah, it was like, oh well, I only fight winners, and the only way for the fight to happen, you have to fight me at welterweight. And I'm thinking, you know, what part of this makes sense? It just looks like, especially him mentioning Poirier. To me, it's just like a money fight. It's just a level of entertainment. Because deep down, you know that Poirier will get the win. He's just a more skillful fighter, you know. I mean, their styles kind of go hand in hand with each other, and I can see why people would want to see that fight. You know, that kind of, you know, foot on the pedal, um, just guns blazing for 5 rounds with striking and good boxing. You know, I mean, I think the majority of fans love seeing those fights, seeing those wars. You know, yeah, it's I just a weird one. You know, if you want to fight at lightweight, just go over to the lightweight division. What's so big about it? And plus, Connor's there. Connor's and him, him saying, calling out people from lightweight division into the welterweight division. It makes no sense to me. And I'm just thinking to myself, that's kind of. I mean, if you're thinking about the money, right? You should have the inclination to go to lightweight division, because Dana White, it looks like as if he's going to do everything in his power to get that third trilogy fight between Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor. You know, as much as the UFC is a sport, it's also a business. You know, and everyone, and all the CEOs of the company and all the producers all go home very happy when they can get a pay per view that goes over 1 million buys. That is the bonus for the year. You know, Everyone, all the mandem, all the geldom can go get their private yacht, go get that new TV they wanted, go get the new Rolly, go get the new Ferrari. I don't know what the fuck they want, but it's a business and they need to make profit. They need to break even. And with as much as people talk shit about Conor McGregor, there has not been another fighter than McGregor that has brought the eyes to the sport of UFC. And the other day, I found something actually crazy. I so the I don't want to mess this up. Hold on, is it? I'm gonna wait. Hold on a second. I don't want to. All right, hold on a second, because I don't want to make myself look like an idiot. Yeah, right. So the fight between McGregor and Chad Mendes, right? What people need to understand is obviously we know that Chad Mendes went into that fight on 6 days or a week's notice, right? That was the story with that. And Jose had pulled up with an injury or what the fuck was wrong with him at the time. Um, Chad Mendes steps in, and that pay per view itself, right, does over 800,000 buys. 800 fucking thousand buys, bro. That's a lot. And that wasn't for like, it was for an interim title, and that's a lot of eyes, man, for a bout that's now become an interim bout, not for the undisputed championship, and it's done 800,000 buys. I mean, Anthony Joshua's last pay per view with Kubrat Pulev done 600,000 buys. That's a championship fight for 4 belts. And you got McGregor out here when he was in the featherweight division. I mean, McGregor featherweight division, I think he was unstoppable. Um, and he does an interim fight. It's 1 belt. It's the UFC, and he does 800,000 buys. I mean, it gets to the point where you know if you're Dana White, you have to be a foolish man to think to yourself, well, I don't want um, McGregor to be a part of the business, or you know, the thing is, all well and truly, I do think it's a dangerous thing to have McGregor go back in there and fight. I do think it is dangerous because this is a constant thing with McGregor. Because he already made it, he became the double champ, the whole notoriety, the whole novelty, right, with him, right, the whole panache, the glitz, the glam with him, right. You know, with McGregor, it always seems to be the tail of the tape with him that he goes through this weird period where he lose two, he'll win, he'll lose 2 fights, win one, maybe win another one, they lose 2 fights, but the UFC they keep edging him to get a title shot. McGregor's getting a title shot. You got to think about the record, man. Like, so think about it. So he's lost against Poirier, right? Before that, he knocked out um, Cowboy within the first couple of seconds of the first round. Before that was the whole fucking facade with Khabib, right? It's just I mean, you look at his record on the last 3 to 5 years, and you just see this inconsistency. But yet the UFC just push him all the time. You know, I think that's dangerous because it's just blowing a tremendous amount of smoke up the guy's ass. And you got fighters in the lightweight division like Charles Oliveira who have gone on like a 7 to 8 fight win streak, and they won't get a title shot just because they're not over exuberant or boisterous, or you know or they've got this WWE personality about them, you know, and the UFC doesn't want to push them, and I'm starting to notice a lot that they don't really like. pushing those type of fighters, and I think it's kind of wrong. It's like Leon Edwards. The guy's gone on like I think he's gone on like a large fight win streak, and because he's not overly boisterous and he's not like outgoing and he's not an extrovert, you know, UFC don't want to push him. You know, and he's stupid. You know, I mean, you know, could you really, you know, it's just I feel like with the UFC sometimes it's a case of if you don't ask, you don't get. You know, if you're not calling out fighters, if you're not creating the WWE persona, then the UFC don't. I know is that they don't want to push those type of fighters, right? Um, so, and another thing I notice as well, they base a lot of their championship fights off spectacular finishes, like someone getting head kicked in the first round, someone getting knocked out, flying knee, an elbow. All of those type of knockout wins, those fighters get severely pushed. Like they are like in the pecking order. They're like there. That's it. It doesn't matter about. For example, how to explain? It's like the number. Okay, for example, right, the number two guy, the number ranked two guy could fight the number one guy, right? And the number two guy could beat the guy for 5 rounds. You know, um, just outmatch him for all of those rounds. Wins on a unanimous decision. You think he's number two, right? He should be fighting the champion now. He just beat the number one contender. Yet number four, I don't know, number four fights number three. Number four knocks out this guy in the first round, and the UFC will get him and push him and make him fight for the title. Not the guy that not the number two guy that beat the number one guy and got to unanimous decision. They just forget about them fighters. I hope I'm talking some sense here because that's what I feel happens majority of the time in the UFC. You know, in one way, it's entertaining to see the company being run in that manner, but at the same time, it's unfair on the sport in a way. You know, because what's going to end up happening is Poirier, he wants the money. Let's be like the man wants the money, right? Poirier is going to fight McGregor for a third time, right? And it looks like Justin Gaethje wants to fight Chandler, right? And so all of these guys, they want to fight, you know. And we've even heard Gaethje come out recently and say about Oliveira that he's gone on this 8-fight win streak, but he's not. He hasn't fought anyone that is really championship level. But then you could just make the case of, well, if you're saying that and you believe he's not fought an elite fighter, why don't you want to fight him then? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, why don't you want to fight him then? If you believe that if you believe he's a bum, you fight him. I mean, he's pretty close to you in the rankings, you know. So, but yeah, I definitely think that the UFC go in with this notion of, you know, if you don't ask, you don't get. You know, it is annoying, you know. But I also think that the UFC as a company, and the reason why there's so many people that are now getting into the sport is that Dana White does a lot of mentalist tricks to get inside the fighter's head. You know, um, you know, we should. I think his nickname should be Stephen Strange because he's got all this different wizardry around his fighters. You know, and he'll do crazy things like if a fighter pulls out of an injury and they were the champion, he'll go bring in another fighter and he'll make an interim belt, an interim championship bout. And what he does so well to fuck up these, to really make both of these, to make the champion and the interim champion both hate each other, right? It's such a simple thing, right? What he does is that he doesn't in the UFC. If you've been watching the, I mean, yeah, you know, there isn't 5 different belts for one division. In boxing, you got the fucking IBF, the WBA, the WB I Scratch My Ass Award, the Joe Bloggs belt, the Auntie Susan belt, the Stoke City belt, bruv. Like, how many belts does there have to be? You know, and this is primarily why in boxing we're not, like, especially the heavyweight division, all majority of these divisions, right? That's why we're not seeing the best fight the best, because they know that they can fight for a championship belt and not really face the toughest guy in the division, right? So, on the contrary, and on the paradigm shift, when you look at the UFC, it's one belt. But what my point is that if a champion that is the undisputed champion for the UFC, he pulls out, right, and the contender is there, Dana will make an interim bout. But the mentalist trick is that the belt that he has is exactly the same belt of what the champion has. So what happens is the fight, the whoever's competing, they win that belt. They win the interim belt. The interim belt looks exactly like the undisputed belt, right? And then what ends up happening is the interim champion will tell the actual champion, "You're a fake champion. You're a bitch. You miss weight. You're this. You're that," right? And then you got him clapping back, yeah. "Oh, you just took my leftovers, blah blah. Don't worry, I'll mop you up. You know, like I'll mop you up like a katsu soup, yeah. When we fight on the night, no problem, no bother, mate. Don't worry. You just show up and I kick your ass." So you get both fighters that talk an unbelievable amount of shit, and it builds this hype for their fights. And Dana does that time in and time out with his fighters. And it's a brilliant move that he does, pure based on the fact that he doesn't have 51 different belts, right? So, I mean, you know, like the WBC of boxing, they've gone absolutely batshit crazy. You know, like the whole thing of you know, like they gave like a camaraderie belt on. I've got no bias towards anyone's culture or anything, or race, religion. I got no bias or any against all that. But they gave a belt to Tyson Fury because it was um it was a celebratory day in in Mexico's culture, right? And he was awarded a belt, you know. And I'm like, but what has that belt got to do anything with this fight? You know, they just, you know, they, you know, with boxing, they're all self publicists. You know, it's like I've been hearing until the cows come fucking home about this Anthony Joshua Tyson Fury fight, right? And Tyson Fury's been pushing it, like he's been heavily been pushing it, right? He's been on talk shows, he's been on radio, he's been everywhere, right? It's the most active, it's the most I've ever seen Tyson Fury talk about him wanting a fight. And Bob, Bob Arum, Bob Arum, Eddie Hearn, all these people, and they can't get the fucking fight together. I remember it was a month ago that I heard that they were trying to work towards the fight being in the Middle East, right? In a way, it kind of makes sense because everywhere else is still in a pretty bad state because of COVID. Um, you know, but So we heard that last month. We're now February. We're in the middle of February. We've still not heard anything. And then it's like the hype for these fights, they build up, and then people after a period of time they start to forget, and then they don't give a shit anymore. You know, so I really do hope that I'm making some sense here when I'm talking. Because this is the you know this is the problem that we've now got with boxing. There's too many people on the top of the ladder that are taking the enjoyment away from the fans. And it's wrong. You know, and the thing is, it's like back in the day with boxing. When we're talking about the likes of Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield and all these guys that we all come to love, and Riddick Bowe and all these people that put uh, Larry Holmes, yeah, all of these greats, you know they weren't getting paid this absurd amount of money. They were getting paid money in it. I mean, they were getting a few million, right? But now boxing's become this multi-millionaire thing, and it's completely taken away the desire away from the fighters, and that's why we're not seeing the fights that we want to see. You know, it's like look at Philip Hergovich. I mean, who have we? Philip Hergovich, yeah, big man thing, yeah. He should be telling everyone that they're a bitch. That's what I'd be doing. You know, because he's been saying. I genuinely believe that nobody wants to fight him. Nobody wants to fight him. The guy's a giant, right? Piston right hand, absolute nightmare to fight. Yeah, long and rangy. Yeah, nobody wants to fight him. You know, and I think I think he will eventually become a world champion with him. And yeah, I'll predict now. I'll tell you this right now. I don't know. Like this is the problem. Like especially with AJ, I can't like especially with the amount of money that AJ is going to get. Think about AJ, right? If he beats Tyson Fury, right? You've beaten you've beaten the king in it. After that point, really, what is there to prove? You know, and look, he could very well fight Dylan White. Fingers crossed, he wins his rematch with Povetkin. Um, but really, then there's only after that, if there will be a trilogy, it's only going to be like what two, or maybe like man, like two fights would be pushing it, 2 or 3 fights, and that's it, man. You made your money, yeah. And granted that if you come out of those fights with your health still intact, you don't get fucking smashed about, or you don't get folded like a deck chair, and you don't get the kitchen sink thrown at you, yeah. Then he's gonna think, I made my millions, I made my whatever 100 million from this trilogy or what the case might be, included with all the fucking mad sponsors that they get. Yeah, then why should you go in there and get punched in the head? You know, you got your health, you achieved what you wanted to achieve, and that's it. You know, but we and I do believe that when it comes to combat sports, that fighters should know when to turn it in and call it a day. But with Tyson Fury AJ, like really, what will there to be to prove to anyone if somebody goes into those two fights, because they're going to do the rematch, no doubt about it. They'll do the rematch. Whoever loses, um, um, and then after that, like, bruv, like for either one or even for either or of them, yeah, 2 fights, 3 fights, done. That's it, bro. You know, And the thing is, like, the UK already have AJ as this golden boy here in this country. Um, you know, so you know, it is what it is. You know, he's been marketed, and the country gets behind him. So when he retires from the sport, he, he's all right. Like, he's going to be well compensated, and people, they're gonna, he could be a commentator. He could, yeah. I mean, after that, man, you could do anything, man. If the man wants to go buy his own island, you could probably go do that as well. You know, so. But yeah, that's my take on the Anthony Joshua Tyson Fury saga. And I will say this: Joshua is more than capable of beating Fury. He's more than capable, because if it's been anything that I've learned from the last 2 years of watching all of these fights back to back to back, right? It's always about who has been the fighter that has been in the ring the most, learning the most, fighting the top level opposition, right? And I think people need to take into consideration with Tyson Fury. I genuinely believe with Tyson Fury that he's still actually improving. I don't think Tyson Fury is actually his his full potential. You know, I mean, that fight, the rematch between himself and Deontay Wilder, was the first time that I'd really seen Fury really turn over his punches and sit on his punches and land heavy fucking shots. You know, and just going in for the kill. You know, with with a more sturdy jab, and a harder, just him turning more over on his punch, and and that really benefited him, and it paid dividends. Um, and now Kronk is now utilizing that style within him. You know, I mean, if you look at the way his style of fighting in the rematch to what the first fight was with Wilder, it's completely night and day, style. So I think he's still improving. You know, and before the first Wilder fight, Fury had, you know, I mean, he was fighting nobodies. You know, when he'd come back to boxing, you know, there were just tune-up fights for him. Um, and his hardest opponent was Otto Allen. I remember, you know, he got bust up, and Otto Allen came on the inside, landing hooks, dirty boxing on the inside the clinch, made roughed up Fury, made it a nightmare. Um, and Fury got away. You know, he just about pipped it and won that fight. But I just believe that, you know, Joshua, he's in the last 3 to 5 years, I believe he's had 4 to 5 world champions, contenders. You know, if you're looking at, because here's the thing, right? As a Tyson Fury fan, it's very easy for someone to get caught up with the camaraderie of it all, you know, the banter of it all, you know, the showmanship of him, you know. But when you boil it down to who's been there, putting in that work, you know, that's what it comes down to, you know. And I genuinely believe that Joshua is more than capable of beating Fury. You know, it's the same. It's like, look at Poirier. You know, Poirier's been in there the last couple of years, fighting everyone, absolutely everyone, right? Even if it was a case of winning or losing, he fought everyone. You know, McGregor got a a, a 40-second knockover, not a knockout on Cowboy, and then he's rolling in to fight Dustin Poirier, who's just been an absolute animal in lightweight division. You know, it's like I see the equivalent of Poirier as AJ. He's just someone that goes in there, does his job to the most efficient that he can do it, you know. Um, but I'll say this, right? If Tyson Fury is really this good, right, and he goes in there and he beats AJ, I'll say this: I don't like after that point. I would. I don't. I will find it extremely hard to see how AJ would win that rematch. I just don't know how he would do it. If he's already got he like if Fury's already at the stage of him improving and he beats AJ, how does AJ win that rematch? If he like, I genuinely look at Fury and I think he's still improving. That's just mad, you know. And funny enough, if he beats if he does beat AJ, I believe he would go 30-0. So he would have, quote unquote, Khabib's record, the 30-0, the prestigious 30-0. Like, for example, I want to call up so that you guys get a gist of what I mean. I just want to see what. Let's look at the tail of the tape with Anthony Joshua really quickly. All right, so what? Show me the fights. Where are the fights? Huh? Personal. Don't. Yeah. Hold on. I'm getting there. Is it gonna show me? No. Where is it gonna show me? All right, here we go. All right, so this is what I mean by, if you're a fighter and you're in there and you're having championship bouts, right? We have to take this into consideration, right? So AJ had that fight. Right, let's go from. All right, so let's go from the point of. Mm, all right, so Dillian White, right? That was AJ's first test, wasn't it? Right? Got the TKO in the seventh round. Fights Charles Martin, knocks him out in the second round. So again, two guys, and look at the level of what Dillian White has been fighting at. He's another guy you can't push aside. He's well in the mix. I would have. I mean, I think at the moment probably have Povetkin as number 3 or 4 in the world. But come say if Dillian White gets the win in March, then I would, before his loss against Povetkin, in my eyes, he was the number 3 ranked heavyweight in the world. Um, so AJ beats him in the seventh round, TKO, knockout of Charles Martin in the second round. Dominic Brazil knocks him out in the seventh round. These are all top 10 contenders, right? And currently at this moment in time, Charles Martin is on a little bit of a fight streak, I believe, fight win streak. Um, Dominic Brazil knocks him out seventh round. Eric Molina third round. He battered him. Um, TKO of the 11th round against Vladimir Klitschko. But this is where you start to see the level of opposition get really fucking hard for AJ. So He goes 11 rounds with Vladimir Klitschko, gets a knockout on him. Goes 10 rounds with Carlos Takam. Um, gets a TK on the 10th round. And in that fight, he got his nose broken. He couldn't breathe properly. I remember that. Gets a unanimous decision against Joseph Parker, right? Fights Alexander Povetkin, gets a TKO in the 7th round. You know, we've seen Povetkin knock out Dillian White, so we know what level Povetkin is at. Povetkin was a former champion. And then went and lost to Andy Ruiz, beat Andy Ruiz in a rematch, and then beats Kubrat Pulev. I mean, from that point of Vladimir Klitschko, Carlos Takam, Joseph Parker, and then Alexander Povetkin, I mean, that to get those wins, you know, you can't be no ordinary fighter to get those wins, you know. So I look forward to that fight. I really do. But guys, I'm going to finish up the stream. Thank you to people that stayed on, watched on. If you're still watching at this point, I salute you. You're one of the real ones if you got to this point, and you've watched me go off on the tangent. I salute you. You're one of the real ones. I love you. From me to you, I love you. Because the current stream has been going for about an hour, nearly 2 hours. So, but guys, make sure you subscribe, turn your bell notifications on. Like I said, I'll be doing the fight night event for Derek Lewis versus Curtis Blades. To do the fight night live stream for that. And 27th February, I'll try and do Canelo boxing. Let's see what he's up to. He's always a joy to watch, isn't he? And we'll do that as well. And we got a massive pay-per-view event with Ezra Adesanya versus Blachowicz. So yeah, many things coming to the channel. And to the 3 people that are watching, 2:14 p.m. time, or in between 2:14 p.m. and 3 p.m. today. So I'm literally going to sleep a couple of hours and get up again. We will be having a final trailer for Zack Snyder's, or a new trailer. We know we're getting a trailer for Zack Snyder's Justice League. So you'll see a reaction for that. Make sure that you show up, show your support, show your love. That'd be great. Looking forward to it. That's going to be great. But yeah, in between 2:14 p.m. and 3 p.m., you'll see a reaction for that trailer coming up. So yeah, guys, thank you. I've been MCM, and I'm out.